What price will XRP hit when it finally bottoms? And when it rallies, is it really going to $10,000 to $50,000? Well, today we're not going to focus on the headlines. We are going to focus on the XRP charts. And I will give you my downside target, and it is higher than $1. And let me just go ahead and preface it. There is no way XRP is going to $10,000 or $50,000, but I do have some bullish targets. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the first thing we're going to be looking at here, we're looking at 4 different things. The first thing is going to be the support floor that has been holding for 17 days. And that is this yellow line right here. This is all the way back of June 5th. Right now we're at June 22. We're looking at 17 days here, and this is hitting perfectly. Now, if you go to the 4-hour, looks even better. You can see just a nice bounce here, nice bounce here, nice bounce here. So if we continue to fall, we need to hold this level. But sometimes after you fall on something 3 times, that's when you're going to see the drawdown. Now, if we lose this level, are we going down to this next yellow trend line? Now, this trend line goes all the way back to April of 2025. I don't think we're going to fall that low. We need to switch to the daily so I can give you a target. I really, really like this area right here to hold as support. And you can just see this is candle bodies right here, and that's going to be right around 109. That's the first thing. That's the support floor, and that's the next level I would expect, if it continues to fall to the downside. But what if it goes to the upside? The first area of resistance that I'm looking at is right here at $1.18. Now we're going to switch to the 4-hour and throw down the horizontal line again, and you'll see why I am given this level. Going to be right at the bottoms of these candles right here, and it catches the tops of these candles right here. So this is the first area I'm looking at for a little bit of resistance for XRP's price. And that $1.18 range has a little bit of confluence back in November of 2024, and you see it a little bit all the way back in October of 2021. So important level for XRP for sure, 118. Next thing we're going to be looking at is this falling wedge, which is bullish. Now, before I chart this falling wedge, just want to show you, falling wedge typically is a bullish signal. This is losing a little bit of steam as it's trying to, head a little bit lower and a little bit lower. You see the sells are dropping a little bit faster. That means the buyers have more strength than the sellers have strength. And it normally goes to the upside, but, by no means is this guaranteed, but 68, 70% of the time, you will see a breakout to the upside. Let's go ahead and chart that. I'm going to get rid of this. And this is going to be using the bottom part is going to be looking at this trend line since April of 2025. You can see on the daily candles, slices right through the bottoms. This is going to be where it closed. This is where XRP opened. You see the wick here. That's right. That's that wick, the October 10th wick. And it's the swing low here all the way in April of 2025. And you add that all up together and look exactly where we bounced earlier. So this is the bottom part of the falling wedge. And these red arrows are pointing out the top part of this falling wedge. We're going to grab our trend line and look at that. You can see just a textbook rejection over and over and over again. But we did say this is a bullish pattern. So let's give you a bullish target for this falling wedge. Now, if XRP is to pump, I do expect, the odds are favoring it will reject. It rejected the previous 5-6 times, probably going to reject again. And if it happens, maybe not tomorrow or the next day, but a few days after that, you might be looking at $1.22 for XRP. Let's go ahead and measure it. The way you measure a falling wedge or a rising wedge's price target, you see the largest part where it touches the top and the bottom. So the first time it touches the top and the bottom, that'll give you your typical range for a move. And so what we need to do here is see where's the first time it touched the top and the bottom. So this is where it touched the bottom. This is where it touched the top. It's going to give us our first touch on both points. And if we draw this out, now I'm sorry this isn't $10,000. I'm sorry it's not $50,000. Those are some pretty unrealistic targets. But we do have a nice target of 341. Now, one of the things I like about this target, it is a lower high. This would be actually a really, really good place for the bulls to press that price up, get everybody, trapped. XRP is going to get a new all-time high. Start loading up your bags, and then it gets dumped on. And I want to end with the XRP Bitcoin chart. This is something we check in on, every now and then. And we said this a while ago. It says right now, XRP keeps respecting this middle point trend line. And if you look, looks like we might be coming down a little bit lower, priced in Satoshis, meaning your XRP valued in Bitcoin. But so far, we keep bouncing off this range. The odds are going to favor another bounce as well. So, hey, maybe you have a little bit of an alt season coming. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto. And if you like this XRP content, let me know. Some people say cover more XRP. Some say never cover that coin again. Let me know what you feel down below. I'll see you in your XRP bags if you're holding. at the top.